Last July, she started having problems opening Ziploc bags, and I thought, well, maybe carpal tunnel.
We knew something was wrong because with this waddling when he walked, and then also he was falling quite a bit.
Went and had this checked out, and they said, well, it's an ALS. And I said, well, let's go have a second opinion. And they confirmed it.
ALS is one of the most devastating diseases, but it doesn't impact as many people.
And so it kind of goes unnoticed and underfunded.
I had heard of it, but I had no idea what it was about. And I had no idea that people suffered like that.
It's scary.
It's scary, it really is.
You know, you don't know what you got till it's gone. And boy, that's a true statement, you know.
There's three prongs to what we do in the ALS Association. First is research to find a cure. Number two is we're advocating to ensure that we can get funds allocated to us. And third, and this is the biggest role of the local chapter, and that is to care for patients and their families.
Our chapter covers half the state of Illinois and about a third of Missouri.
In the St. Louis area, we have about 300 cases at any given time.
So currently I have a patient caseload of approximately 65 to 70.
I also carry a caseload of about 56 people, and they are all veterans. Veterans are twice as likely to be diagnosed with ALS.
Being a case manager is not about a job. It's not about simply making a living. It really is a calling.
ALS people understand ALS. So for me, it's like I have an advocate sitting there ready for me to answer everything I need.
The way that we care for patients and their families varies based on need, based on the stage of the disease.
What resources are out there? How do I get this? Where do I go for that?
One of the biggest areas that we focus on is disease education.
And I do a lot of home visits to meet with people to explain like the feeding tube process, what that looks like, what non-invasive ventilation looks like.
So the disease itself is completely unique from person to person.
It's so hard to say, tomorrow this is what's going to happen, or in a week this is what's going to happen.
We went to some friend's house and I had so much trouble getting in their front door. All they had is two little steps, one to the porch and one in the house. And I couldn't make it. My legs just gave out.
If we can preserve independence in their own home as long as possible, I think that's to the benefit of the patient, but also the benefit of their family.
They already feel like they can become a burden to their loved ones, so the more that we can manage to keep them independent and doing things that matter to them is very important.
Very important.
Yeah, very.
One of the most important things there is to be able to take care of yourself.
Recently our chapter provided Cheryl with a lift chair that she absolutely loves.
Now she just raises herself up and she gets there.
I mean, it sounds silly, oh, they got us a ramp, now we can go out. But it's a big deal when
Oh, you
you're...
ain't kidding.
So it lets me still be me. They've given me independence back.
Right.
Everybody likes their independence and being able to take care of themselves. So anything we can do to help with that, we certainly strive to do.
ALS is a journey that happens relatively fast, and the stages can be very dynamic.
And I can still talk. It's like speaking a foreign language, but it's there still.
This week I'm not as good as I was last week. I can just feel it.
It's a neuromuscular disease, and ultimately what happens is all of the muscles in your body will shut down. However, your brain is intact the entire time.
Which makes it even harder because they know how things are changing and the sadness and the pain that their families are feeling and all of these things.
Treat them with respect and dignity. That just because somebody may be in a wheelchair does not mean that they aren't a person.
I think that's really important for people to know about ALS patients. I think with the communication especially, even though somebody may not be able to clearly communicate their thoughts or feelings, they're still feeling them.
Well, I would say ALS patients, perhaps unsuspectingly, are some of the most brave, courageous people that I've ever met.
I know basically what's coming, but until it gets here, I'm gonna live every day the best I can
Yep.
That means we go for rides every day.
And when you find out you're not going to get better and you have to start worrying about what's coming next. But I found out in pretty short order, and with a little help from Tara, that you can't worry about that. You can't think about it.
The wall that's so hard to get over with ALS is the bigger picture, and that's finding a cure.
For us to be able to continue to help people maintain dignity and to maintain quality of life, we need to be out there to support them.
It's a moving target, so in many instances, we have to get creative.
We've got a great bump with respect to doing research, finding answers to questions that we previously didn't have, even getting drugs through clinical trials and to the market. However, we need to keep the level of awareness high and the funding coming in to continue to move forward and go towards that ultimate goal of finding a cure, having a world without ALS. Every donation that's made to our association truly counts. It could be equipment for the patient, it can be services for the patient. The donations really matter when it comes to funding the research and the science behind trying to find a cure.
I don't know who I'd be seeing now if it wasn't for them. I don't know what would happen. I'd probably be in a nursing home someplace. I don't know.
For a disease that's so hopeless in the short run, I think we're all thinking longer run. And if we're not, we're giving up. And I don't think anybody's ready to do that at this point. We're fighting very hard.
I hope for a treatment. I hope to see the people that I meet every day, to have them live longer. I really want to beat ALS.
I tell her I'm her butler, and that aggravates her a little bit. But that's okay. I mean, we got to have a little joke now and then. You know, you can't have sadness all the time.
You just have to hope for the best and make the most out of each day.
I want people to understand what it is and how good ALS Association is to people like me.
I hope that someday we go out of business. And I mean that because I want there to be a cure for this disease.
Well, there's always hope. If we don't think that there's hope, that's not a good thing for us. But the challenge is we can't see the solution on the horizon. But we do know if we keep marching towards it, it will come into view. And that's the important thing for us, is to keep pressing forward.